It's your boy Georgia, live on Division 2 with another video talking about bills today, alright? So we're talking about bills in particular today. We're going to discuss the LMG Pestilence bill, and to me, it is so cold. Probably one of the best LMG builds I ever seen. Don't get me wrong, there's many ways you could probably do this build, and there's many ways to spike up other LMGs, but this one stood out the most to me. So we're going to be in the shooting range, showing the damage capabilities of the Pestilence LMG, the exotic. All right, let's shoot to the 5. All right, so the first thing I want to start off with is the build itself. I'm using a gunner specialization. With that gunner specialization, um, there's a particular talent within it that helps with the LMG itself. And matter of fact, it's two. So one, you have this one talent named Empathic. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Empathic. Matter of fact, let's go look at it. I don't want to stir you guys wrong. Nah, it's emplacement. So this one talent in particular helps a great deal because it gives 10% weapon handling while not moving. And basically, you need to be motionless for 1 second for it to become active, right? Which goes along with the whole stacking concept of this particular build, right? Um, the other thing that helps this build is supply line. So you generate 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Party members recover 5%. So not only does this, help you, but it also helps your allies, right? So since we're on the gunner with the LMG, we want to make sure we come over here and equip the passive talent onslaught to tier 3. Um, as you can see, it gives an extra 15% increased light machine gun damage, and you can also add on the large pouch selection as well, which is bigger than the standard pouch that fits on any belt-fed weapon, right? So let's go back to the shooting range and let me explain to you all what exactly this particular LMG does and what I like about it so much. All right, so let's go back to the invulnerable target. All right, let's bring the target a little closer. All right, now first thing you realize, if you look up under your ammo bag, you see those 3 icons that are propped right now. That first one comes from the Sawyer's knee pad, and that is an exotic knee pad. All right, that is a talent. The next one is the emplacement talent that you all just saw from the specialization up from the gunner. And that next icon you see on the bottom, that comes from the vigilance talent from on the backpack. All right. So the main thing that I like the most about the pestilent is that it gives you damage over time. Damage over time can be very, very helpful in a lot of situations when trying to do damage. So the name of this talent for the pestilence is called the Plague of the Outcast. Hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. 100% weapon damage. All right. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. All right. So with this weapon dealing a debuff of 100% weapon damage, that only means that this one LMG in particular does not go off of critical hit damage attribute, and it does not go off of critical hit chance attributes. It helps, and but it's not the main factor. The main factor of this weapon is actual weapon damage. So right now we're sitting at 113.8k on total base weapon damage. So let's see how hard this gun hits just off the gun alone. So you're looking at about a steady 578,000. You may get 600,000 out of it on just regular base damage. And as you can see, the damage over time proc has procced, which is the debuff, and you've seen it rising from 1.2 to 1.5. That's the ticks from the damage over time buff, which makes this gun so powerful, right? So you're not only getting shots from your gun at 6 to 500k. Headshots are hitting at almost 9. Well, seems like almost a million now. Almost a million. This is a very powerful weapon, as you can see. Now you can see the white numbers. Those are the ticks. The white and the blue numbers are the ticks coming from the damage over time. Once I'm done shooting, it continues to kill the enemy, and all that damage over time strength comes from the actual weapon damage from this weapon. So the stronger you get the weapon damage of this gun, the harder these ticks from the damage over time will hit. All right. Headshots are hitting at nearly a million. We've seen a couple 900,000. Now, if you look under the ammo section, all of your buffs are active. So don't forget, you got the Vigilance talent. It's also giving you a 25% weapon damage buff, which is increasingly giving this gun more power, right? But don't forget, rocking the Vigilance talent is if you get hit, that buff disappears for 4 seconds. Alright? So you want to try to avoid getting hit if you can, if possible, to keep that buff activated. And also, if I move to the left or move to the right, it doesn't matter. That talent that's coming from the Sawyer's knee pad is going to disappear. You see it going away right now. But it comes right back. Soon as you're still again, after about a second, that stack starts to stack up again. But if you notice, you move, it takes another 10 seconds before it goes away completely. So you can get a couple more shots in with that same maxed out damage output before it goes away, which gives you time to hit another enemy with your maxed out damage over time. Now, once this skips to the next ad, once this ad dies with that debuff over their head, that next ad is going to get that same 1.5 million tick from that debuff that you see, right? That damage over time. So one thing that I've seen that we could do to enhance this weapon a little more is by using a specific skill, and that skill is the booster hive. The booster hive has 12 charges, but the booster hive delivers a stimulant to nearby allies that increases their weapon handling, hazard protection, and melee damage, right? That buff duration is for 5 seconds, and that buff amount is 22%, all right? Now, the hive itself will last for 216 seconds. If it's just out on the floor and it's not being used at all, it'll last for 216 seconds, right? With 12 charges, it's not going to last long, but it will increase your weapons fire rate. It'll increase your weapons reload time, reload speed, and your weapon handling is increased significantly, which will help you a lot with when it comes to trying to aim at a ad or NPC, or just trying to get more accurate, that booster hive will help you increase your weapon handling, plus the weapon handling you get from the specialization, that emplacement talent that we saw. All right, so let's try it out. All right, so let's put the booster hive down. And what I'm also using is the Banshee Post that can also help you out if you got enemies that are hiding behind cover. The Banshee Hive will pull enemies out of cover, also disorient them, and the Banshee Post does damage. So it's a great combination to have. All right, so as we get our stacks back up from the Sawyer's knee pads, let's go ahead and hit the ad with a Banshee Post. And as you can see, the reload speed of the LMG with the booster hive was fairly fast. See that? Reloading very fast, very fast, which makes it so cold. Remember, you have to stay still. If you don't stay still, you won't retain the buff that you get from the Sawyer's knee pads. So you're getting 1.2 to 1.5. As you see, it increased. So it went from 1.2, almost 1.3 million, and it jumped to 1.5, almost 1.6 million tick. So this gun can be very potent if used correctly. Remember, the Pestilence LMG goes off of weapon damage alone. Like I said, critical hit damage and critical hit chance does not really affect this gun. It may help, but it's not the bigger thing about this gun, alright? And I just wanted to give you guys some gameplay on this LMG build alone. I thought it was a cold build to make. I hope you guys like it. Let's go over the build one more time. Using the Pestilence, Exotic Pestilence LMG light machine gun. I got it up to 12% on the expertise. Remember, the more weapon damage you add to this weapon, the higher that damage over time is going to become. Alright, 12% damage to targets out of cover. Also got it with the damage to armor. I'm not really sure if you can get another damage to target out of cover, which I doubt it, but if you could, man, that'd be OP, right? So once again, the talent is Plague of the Outcast. First mask I'm using is the Hollow Man mask, which is the named item mask of the Yaw gear. It automatically gives you a plus 10% hazard protection. So this build has a little bit of everything, as you can see, with the plus 10% health damage. I decided to go with a armor on kill mod, because every kill that you get, especially from the damage over time, if you're getting hit, you're going to get some armor back, which would be very helpful. All right, so with the chest piece, we're using the sacrifice, give us a plus 15% headshot damage, which I always try to aim at the NPCs at the head. It's the most damage, but hitting them anywhere with this weapon, it doesn't matter. They're still going to get a tick, whether it's on the chest, whether it's on the legs, whether it's on the head. They're going to get a tick regardless from the damage over time. Perfect Glass Cannon is the talent for this vest. All damage you deal is amplified by 30%. All damage you take is amplified by 60%. All right, so you got to be careful when you're standing up out there in the open. You know, LMGs travel kind of far, so you might want to be somewhere kind of isolated by yourself a little bit, with some type of protection. You're not rocking a shield, so try to use the environment as a little bit of protection, like the wall, or hide behind something. It doesn't matter if you're in cover, as long as you're still. You can flip left to right with the aim sight, left shoulder to right shoulder. You still have those stacks. It won't go away. Just as long as you don't move your character out of this initial spot, you'll keep that stack from the Sawyer's knee pads. All right, so the Walker Harris we're using for the holster, two-piece Walker Harris at that, is giving us plus 5% weapon damage and plus 5% damage to armor, critical hit chance, and critical hit damage are the attributes. With the Sawyer's knee pads, um, these are exotic knee pads. It has maxed out armor at 170,000. The attributes are explosive resistant 10%, and you got another um, health uh, attribute that goes towards keeping you alive a little longer for survivability. Um, this talent in particular is a pretty good talent, especially for this type of build. It has stand your ground talent. You cannot be staggered by explosions. Period. Doesn't matter if it's one time you get hit with a grenade. Doesn't matter if it's two times you get hit with a grenade. Um, you just won't stagger, which keeps you from moving out of the place that you're in, so that you won't lose your stacks that you're gaining from these knee pads. So this talent increases total weapon damage by 3% each second you're not moving. Stacks up to 10 until you start moving. All stacks lost 10 seconds after moving. So you're still gaining stacks even if you move. Even though the stack runs out um, after you move, you still got 10 seconds left to get as much damage to the next ad or NPC that you see. So you can keep that max stack going on to the next NPC. All right. Gloves we're using are contractor gloves. As you can see, it's giving us plus 10% to the LMG weapon damage itself, plus 15% weapon damage, and you have the 8% damage to armor, which intertwines with the Walker Harris, because the Walker Harris is now with two pieces is giving you 5% damage to armor. And with that contractor's glove, that's 13% total that you're getting towards damage towards armor of the NPCs. All right. And last but not least, the backpack, another Walker Harris. And I also decided to go with another armor on kill mod to help give a little bit of armor back in case we take any damage while trying to stay still shooting enemies, right? So the vigilance talent itself is a great talent, but you have to remember if you take damage from any of the enemies, it will disable the buff for 4 seconds. So you want to try to, like I said, get into some type of cover, whether you're crouched, whether you're standing up behind a wall, anything that can kind of help keep you from getting hit from enemies so that you can keep that buff active. The vigilance talent increases total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables this buff for 4 seconds. All right, and you can use any other secondary that you choose. I just decided to go with the Dark Winter, and the pistol that I'm using is the D50. The talent on the D50 is Sledgehammer, so dealing damage with the grenade applies a mark on target. Targets with mark will take 30% more damage to armor and have a negative 20% movement speed. Mark will disappear after 10 seconds. All right. So that is the build I decided to go with. Of course, the booster hive, and as well as the Banshee Pulse. And remember, you can only equip the Banshee Pulse if you have the Gunner's specialization activated. All right, and with that activation, you automatically get these mods that you can equip, which increases the radius by 15%, and it also increases the effect's duration, all right, by 15%. All right, very, very strong build. I recommend it to anybody that, especially if you love LMGs. Um, it works wonders, and I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Georgia Boy out. Don't forget, follow and subscribe. Twitch, YouTube at G_boy_T. Shout out to O Diggity. Don't forget to holler at my man O Diggity on his YouTube at O-Diggityville Gaming, and show him some love. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Let me know what you think about the build and if you like it or not.